Welcome back to the channel. Your seat's open. We need to talk about another number today. If you're thinking about retirement and you're planning your career around running to age 65 or even 70, you missed a number. Here at the channel, we've been talking about some important things, sitting around the table talking about the wisdom of life. Here's one. How many of you have planned for 50? And why? Why would you think about 50? A wise man once told me, if you're in the world of technology in particular, you need to plan for 50. And it turns out it works for a lot more than just technology. You see, when you think about your 50s, you don't really think about much, do you? Maybe getting your kids at that point, hopefully, off to college. Or maybe starting to get your time back as your kids launch. Or maybe you haven't thought about it at all. I'm just going to plow through, work my way to retirement. Here's the reality. The majority of people that I know, now that I have entered this decade of my 50s, are looking for a way out. Achievement no longer dominates our thoughts. We are no longer looking to get ahead. We want to give back. We want to do something meaningful and satisfactory, something that gives us purpose, something that gives our lives more intention and less pushing paper, driving a nail, or something else that's just so mundane. Here's the reality. Two things happen when you hit this age. First of all, when you approach 50, chances are your physical features will start to change. Mine did. I'm indicative of a whole lot of people. Some of you lucky folks out there get to keep all your hair and it all stays the same color a little while longer. But here's the thing. The perception of those who are a decade, 2 or 3 behind you is that you are now old. You are now more irrelevant. You may not know what's going on, and they may not want you. I hate to say it that way, but that's the reality. Ageism is real in the workplace. And if you have a career that you're counting on a trajectory into your 60s, I know more people laid off in their 50s than I did when the economy was bad in my 20s. There's a lot that happens when you hit 50 years old. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow change. You just start to notice some things. The way that people look at you, the questions people ask you, or the way they don't ask you anything at all. Some of those things will creep in. Now, you can be on top of your game. You can be at the absolute peak of your career, and it may not matter. Because the second part of this is you're worth more. Those who recognize wisdom in the workplace recognize your skill set. They recognize what you bring to the table. They recognize that you have dominated your craft. You have figured this out. You are at the top of your game. But you're also a lot more expensive than those who are 20 years behind you, aren't you? And because of that, a lot of organizations don't recognize it. And you're just out of luck. And there you are at 50 or 55 or even 60, trying to figure out what just happened. I'm out of work. What do I do next? I found myself in this situation where I was at the top of my game and I exited. I got out at the top. I feel kind of crazy. The recruiters, they stopped calling. There are no jobs coming in to me. I have to seek work if I want it. It feels crazy, but there is an example of someone who did this well in my life that I'm kind of patterning this after. See, we ran into some great success with our careers, and getting to this point, it afforded this luxury. Because we planned for 50, the luxury of being able to find a second career, a new choice, a new direction in our life. My own father went through this. He was pushed out after over 25 years in the same area, the same role, doing human resource type work, and suddenly he found himself out in his 50s. What do you do after a career that has taken you so far suddenly stops giving? Well, he showed me. He reinvented himself, went into a different field entirely. He's still working now, nearly 25 years later, in a new career, doing what he wanted to do. And he's doing it on his terms. And that's impressive. How far do you think your career can take you? How far can you go? How long will you stay healthy? The data says about a third of us will actually be pushed out before we hit retirement, just based on health. And just look around you, you'll see that there's plenty of people pushed out of work for many other reasons in their 50s and 60s. So don't plan your full retirement age. Don't look at that as the ultimate goal. Plan for financial independence of some kind by 50. And yes, that means a lot more years of sacrifice, because compounding of money over time does not come at the beginning, it comes after you have some. So this is a struggle. You have to be diligent about this to get to this point. Here's the other thing that no one talks about. When you get to this age, work loses a little bit of its meaning. At some point, you don't want to do, you want to give. You want to do more of the things that matter. You want to be able to find more time, not more money. You want to be able to give to the next generation. You want to build into people, not just take for your own family or for yourself. At some point, the ground shifts under your feet and you will find yourself craving that desire to give rather than to receive. So, if you're not planning for 50, you're not planning for your future. Your planning is flawed. It's something that I've been thinking about for a while, and I felt like it's important enough that we should talk about it here at the table. Until next time, thanks for joining me. See you soon.